10 simple ways to improve your networking skills, even if you're an introvert. Hey, what's up, guys? Donnie Bovine here, CEO and founder of Success Champions Networking. And hanging out with me is Kevin Snow, the sales automation tactician and introvert. We're going to have a little bit of fun on this episode. And I've come up with a list of these 10 simple ways to get better at networking and improve your skills. And I want to prove that you can do it even if you're an introvert. So I'm actually going to take Kevin through each one of these. I told him not to look at the list, so he doesn't even know which ones I'm going to hit him with. But I'm going to take him through one by one of these and get his thoughts and opinion of my top 10 things to get better at your networking skills, even if you're an introvert. So diving right in. Number one is...
I just kind of assumed that even if you're an introvert meant even though if you're already a badass.
Yeah, that was not the thing. That was not the thought process at all.
Totally how I heard
If you're weird and awkward and you can't talk to people, this will help you too. So, number one, always network with a target. Like an objective you want to accomplish. What do you think?
Yeah, you have to. Otherwise, you're just kind of roaming around the room hoping something happens. If you go into a room with an understanding of here's what I want to accomplish today, it's going to make it much easier for you to stay focused and do that. I always went to events saying I either wanted to meet specific people that I knew were going to be there, or I wanted to leave with X number of really good conversations / introductions. So it helped me stay focused on what I was doing and not get, because I go to events and I know people. So it would be really easy for me, and Donnie gives me crap about this all the time, to hang out with the people I'm safe with and not go out and talk to other people. So having that target of what I wanted to do while I was there and my goal was important for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think that mine was always get to, because I got to the point where networking got annoying, especially in person. So, mine was get to appointment set, get out. Otherwise I would spend too much time hanging out, BSing, and not doing what I would accomplish. And if I got to hanging out with friends and buddies, man, then networking was right out the fucking window. It was, let's just hang out and have a drink. Number two, this would be interesting. I'm curious to see your response, is always make the first move. But it's a true belief of mine. You always make the first move.
I don't think it is a must-have thing. I think it is if you have if you have a list of people that you want to meet or certain things you want to achieve at the event, yeah, then you have to take control of it and not just hope other people will introduce you to the right people. But most people that are networking, unfortunately, aren't focused on what everyone else is doing and how everyone else is experiencing that networking event. They're focused on what they need. So, if you aren't taking control of the situation, making the first moves, it's going to be harder for you to hit your goals. So, yes, really important, but not my number one.
And for me, though, it is one of my top ones. And the reason it's one of my top ones is really simple. I don't care if you're introverted. I don't care if you're extroverted. I don't care if you're freaking a purple people eater, right? It comes down to that the people who win are the people that can take advantage and lean into the situation. And what I find is more often than not is people sit back and don't do a lot. And I know I'm asking a shit ton, especially of introverts, but I can tell you there was a gentleman, and I'll use his first name only, named Doug, that became a client of mine. And I got to tell you, this dude was introverted as hell, but he was masterful at going into the room and taking the first move, the first initiative to say, hey, I'm Doug, and walking into the conversations. He knew he was awkward, and he would tell you, he's like, man, I'm a goofy guy. I freaking know it. He goes, this requires a lot of energy, But I knew that if I didn't go make that first move, then it was very, very hard for me to network as a whole.
So one of the things, actually, there's two things I would do. One of the things I would do to help with that is I would position myself by the door coming in, and I would literally become the ad hoc greeter for the event. So people coming in the room would see me first, and I just say,
take
hi,
your jacket,
and I talk to people. No, there was no let me check your jacket for you. Thank you for the tip, sir. It was
I'd take the
literally me
fucking tips
introducing
though if they
people.
gave them to me.
Yeah. It would literally be saying hi and asking them, hey, so who do you need to meet, and doing that initial piece and almost being like that chamber ambassador at the event that's trying to interact with people and help people out a little bit. But it was a non-invasive way for an introvert at that time for me to make that first move and talk to people. And because then they're like, oh yeah, cool. I'm totally trying to meet these people, or you know what, this is my first time here. It's like, oh cool, mine too. And they'll be like, really? I'm like, yeah, this is just a great way for me to meet people. We're talking, aren't we? And then we'll have a really cool conversation. The other thing I would do is I would find the other introvert that was hanging around the outside of the room and not really engaging. And then I'd go up and introduce myself and do that same thing. Hey, who are you trying to meet? What's your goal for the event? What are you trying to learn? Blah, blah, blah.
Thank you for proving my point of making the first fucking move. Good job.
I know. I will do it. I said it was important.
Chalk that one up to Team Donnie.
And then I literally lead them into the middle of the room and they get them talking to people. Now they wouldn't be on the outsides anymore. So, but it's things like that really make you memorable to those people, as opposed to just coming up and introducing yourself in the middle of a crowd. Hey, who are you trying to meet? Oh, let me introduce you to Bill. I think he'd be great for you. And facilitating their experience is much more memorable than just the people that come up and introduce themselves.
Love it. Love it. Number 3, don't be an Eeyore.
Yes. I don't know what else to say. Don't be a grump. Don't be a sourpuss at these events. No one wants to hang out with someone who is depressed. And we're going to get email.
Fuck them. It comes down to, you don't want to be around somebody this guy's always fucking falling.
Yeah. And you're at an event. You're probably having some drinks. You're socializing. You want to be enjoying your time. You're not there to hate life. So, don't always be the downer, the Debbie Downer that every time someone says something, you poo-poo it, or,
Did you just say poo-poo it?
Poo-poo. Yes. Don't poo-poo those ideas. That was the first appropriate phrase I gave.
Oh my God. Chad, would you please put that on loop for me? That's funny.
I don't know why you want that on a loop.
Oh, dude, I'm just gonna put that out, and every time we do a training
that is
workshop,
gonna be
I'm gonna hit a button. It's gonna be Kevin going poo 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 poo.
That's gonna be Donnie's new ringtone. But back to a serious topic. No, you want to be around people that are upbeat and excited, and when you share something, it's like, oh, that's really cool, and having that type of interaction, as opposed to being the defeatist in the crowd. For sure. And everything's horrible, and it's just going to the sky is falling. Yep. Don't be Chicken Little.
Yep, that's it. Number 4, focus on introductions.
Yeah, totally. If you aren't focusing on introductions. Yeah, if you aren't focusing on introductions, you're going to be pitching.
Yep.
So and you're
why?
Trying to sell.
But I know why. Why do you say that if they're not focused on introductions, they're going to be pitching?
Because when you're especially for salespeople, you're in this room and your goal is to build that relationship that's going to generate some sort of revenue for your company and get you into a sales conversation. No one comes to those events, though, to be sold to. And if you go up to that person and you immediately start pitching and selling and trying to jump, like 3 dates ahead in the relationship, and you're trying to skip over the first 2 dates, you're just going to piss people off, and they're not going to want to interact with you unless they're at a point where they absolutely actually needed your service and you just happen to show up.
Yep. Yep.
So focusing on introductions and getting that person in front of the people that they're actually there to try and meet and want to have conversations with is going to make you all the more memorable to them. One of my favorite moves after a networking event, because I'd always like to say, who are you trying to meet? And, blah, 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 was to call them and say, hey, this is Kevin. We met at the XYZ event last Friday. I was thinking about you. Remember how you said you wanted to be introduced to this, or you're trying to do this thing? Well, I think I have someone I can introduce you to. Their name is this, blah, blah, blah. Can I give them your info? And now they're like, wow, one, you thought of me, you called me back, you didn't have to do this, and now you've made an impression.
I like it. I respect it. But the only thing that ran through my fucking head is what took you so goddamn long. So for me, dude, I want to right then, right? So if I'm talking to somebody and you go, who do you want to meet? And I'm like, all right, hold on. I'm going to make the introduction right then and there. Because I know me. You're way more organized than I am. I'm not going to remember to do that fucking follow-up.
Well, one of the things for me was, one, I wanted to have a reason to call that wasn't me just calling to pitch. And two, I probably made some introductions there, but I usually would save one so that I had a reason for calling later.
Sandbagging it later. All right.
Yep.
All right.
So then I could, because the thing that always happens with salespeople is you get all these really cool cards from people that you meet at these events, but then they sit on your desk and don't do anything.
Yep.
Because you're now prospecting and no one wants to prospect. Well, it's a lot easier to make that follow-up call when you're introducing them and you have something for them and invite or telling them about an event or something that came across your email that, hey, I saw this and I thought about you, totally thought this would be really up your alley or would help you in your business. Here's what it is. And then going from there, it's just it's a cool after touch for the event.
Cool. Number 5, keep moving.
But I just want to hang on your coattails and
let
you
do
all
the
networking.
Shit.
No, it's, I agree. You want to have those conversations at networking events, 5 minutes or less, and you want to have them really quick, in and out, talk.
Why only 5 minutes? Doing.
I don't know if I have a really good answer for that. It's always just kind of been my rule of thumb, because you don't overstay your welcome. You don't get sucked into periods of awkward silence because you're still trying to figure out what your things are that you can relate and be authentic with them about.
That just cracks me up. You're still trying to relate. Just fucking relate, you dang introverts. I'm gonna get all these introvert hate mails for too long. But no, the reason you only stay for 5 minutes is after that, you're either gonna start talking about some boring ass fucking what'd you do last weekend shit, which I hate small talk, or you're gonna start pitching. Because people's MO when they run out of things to talk about is they start talking about their company, but they start talking about it from a perspective of, let me tell you or show you some of the things I can do, or let me tell you some of the clients I've worked with. It always happens.
Yep. I so want to start training everyone that when they meet you at networking events to ask small talk questions.
It's so annoying. I try.
People just a small talk.
Dude, I seriously try. I try and be interested in things. And there's sometimes I'm genuinely like, if I know something's going on in their personal life, I'm into it, man. But just general small talk. Now, you want to come up and talk business? Let's talk. I can do that all day long. But small talk just sucks. I actually had to learn how to small talk because I suck at it. Number 6. Get to one-on-one meetings.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, the networking event is really just the introduction. It's finding out who they are and that there's a reason to meet. You want to get into that one-on-one meeting so you can really dive into who they are and what they got going on, and you can really spend time figuring out how you can help them. Not meaning how you can sell them, but how you can actually help them and how you can get them in front of the right people. That's really hard to do in 5 to 10 minutes in a crowded room where multiple people are coming up and you're both trying to think about, all right, who am I going to talk to next?
Yeah.
So you need to get them into that one-on-one where the focus is on each other, and you literally can have those really cool conversations and come up with cool ways to collaborate.
Yeah, no, I agree with all that. The thing I want to add on there is you can find out a lot more about an individual once you get them one-on-one away from the crowd, because sometimes, like you said, as an introvert, that you sometimes got to put on a different kind of face to go work that room. You almost become somebody else to work that room. When you get them one-on-one, you're going to meet who actually they are. And the people that are just out looking to pitch and sell you their shit, that's all they'll know how to do once you get them one-on-one. They will start taking you through their process, their system, and you get to really see people's true colors come through because they don't know any better. So for me, that's how I get to one-on-one, because I know what to do with them next, and where to put them in my hierarchy of things. But everything happens in the one-on-one conversations, man. All the introductions happen, the referrals happen, the relationships are built. Nothing happens until you get to that one-on-one and you get to know each other. So it's huge. It's huge. Number 7, find a wingman.
Yeah, it's more fun. It's less, especially for an introvert, it's less intimidating when you're going with someone. I always told people to do that, especially when I was working with different networking groups. I'm like, hey, there's, especially ones that were forming, there's an event going on, 2 or 3 of you should go, because you can literally go in, you can talk to each other, say, here's what my goals are for the event. I want to meet 2 people. I want to meet 3 people. I'm looking to get introduced to this specific person I know that's here. You get in, you immediately split up, go do your networking. About halfway through the event, you check in with each other and say, all right, so who did you meet and how are you doing? And oh, cool, I want to meet that person too. And then you can start exchanging introductions at the event. And now you become a facilitator for the other people in the room, because they're like, oh, I told so-and-so that I met you. They totally wanted to meet you. So Donnie, this is Bill. Bill, this is Donnie. And now you've got a new conversation going and you're off networking again. So it's a great way to, it's basically gamifying the event
100%.
And having some fun with it.
Yeah, I would. The only thing that I would add to that in particular is you're a lot nicer guy than I am. So, but we would, me and my buddy Jason, we caught up the other day and we are just talking about and laughing about some of the stupid shit we did networking. But we would specifically go to events to get introduced to the people we needed to get to. So we would work the hell out of that room to get into all the people we need to have the right conversations with, although it looked like we were having casual conversations. But the main reason him and I would go to events together was not just open doors together, was to do our dumping runs. And the dumping runs is you're going to have that one lone jackass that found you and you are his hero. And he's just not going to leave you alone because, by God, you said hello. And that's now, the person that he can talk to. And they will get locked in on you and not stop talking, because if they stop talking, you might walk away. So they're going to stay locked on you. So when you get that person, you can, if you have your wingman, you can literally go, you know what? I got somebody you need to meet. And you walk it over and go, hey, dude, you need to meet Jason. Jason, dude, y'all have a great conversation. And Jason would be behind the guy's back shooting me a bird because he knew what I was doing. And then you'd wait 30 minutes later, if we're still at the event, here comes Jason across the room with somebody that's latched onto him. And he's like, hey, dude, you need to meet Donnie. And now he's dumping and running on my ass. So there's a lot of benefits to taking a wingman along for the ride, somebody that can help you work the room. And for your introverts in particular, take somebody who's loud and crazy like me to the events and let them get you into all the crowds. It's a cool way for you guys to network.
So, because a lot of our listeners haven't been to Summit, so they haven't seen how we network in a room together. So this is normally what happens, especially at the end of the day, when after I've been,
so the whole comment earlier where Kevin said that
people.
I just follow you around, that's what he's fixing to tell you.
Yeah. So literally in the first couple years, because I'd just be wiped out after running the thing and speaking and networking with members and doing all that stuff. At the end of the day, I was like, yeah, I'm done peopling. So I'd literally sit my ass down next to Donnie and drink and let him network, and I join in the conversation. Like, this is perfect. This is awesome. So after last year's, Donnie's like, yeah, next year you got to go network and do your own thing. So I did, and I was much better this year. I thought I went out and I networked and did stuff at all the after hours.
There was a couple of times I saw Kevin actually like coming to sit by me, and then you could see he thought, "Oh shit, I gotta go network," and like turned around and walked the other way. That happened a couple of times. I'm like, all right, he's getting there.
So, but part of it was I wasn't mentally wiped at the end of the day and tired of people. But what I would do is I'd go network, and then when I'd need a break, I'd come back and hang out by Donnie and his wife Elizabeth, and have be social that way. And then I'd go find people again, but it was kind of like my home base. So it was a safe place I could come and just recharge a little bit.
Yep.
And it's good to have that person that is a little more extroverted. Because they are going to have people naturally coming up to them because they're going to know more people and they're going to have that personality. So you can still do some really cool networking without having to always be making the first move. You can join into some cool conversations and then, venture off, do your own thing, and then, come back an hour or so later, recover a bit, and then go out again.
Yep. I love it. Oh, number 8. Go network in places where you can geek out.
Oh yeah, you have to have places where people are talking about the things you love to do. So, Donnie does ironwork, the blacksmithing. What the hell do they freaking blacksmithing? Find blacksmithing clubs where you can talk about stuff and and you can learn things and you can get into it. Donnie belongs to the local goat community.
I do not belong to it. I do have a homesteaders community that I'm a part of.
But yeah. So, but find those things that you like. I'm a Star Wars fan, so hang out there. Veterans groups, if you're a veteran, you want to hang out with other veterans. Shooting clubs, if you like to go shoot and do that stuff. Hunting, fishing, whatever it is. Get around those people where you can geek out about that thing, because the conversation is naturally going to at some point transition to, so what do you do when you're not fishing? And then you get to have those conversations, and it's like, oh, you do that? Cool. Here's what I do. And you can have some really cool business conversations pop up.
Yep, for sure. And I will tell most people that there is an association with whatever you geek out on. Get to that damn association, because there's people having business conversations that are part of it. I mean, and you got to find yourself in places where it's easy to get in conversations on things that you can geek out on, and there's a business conversation expected. Just makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, totally. Donnie tried to start a meat company at a Ren fair.
Well, that's really true. When you drink too damn much and you're out fucking doing a walkabout in the Renaissance fair, and this dude hands you some amazing freaking mead and you're half crocked, you try and start a freaking mead company. The dude told me repeatedly he was just doing this shit in his backyard. But by God, as I said, I can't do small talk at all, but fucking I can talk business all day long. So that's good shit. So number 9, always be networking.
Yes, totally, always be networking. But there's a caveat to that.
Bring it.
You have to honor the situation. You have to honor the event that you're at. So, if you are at a funeral and you're at the church basement, you maybe don't want to just be like, making it rain with your business cards looking for business, but you can still have the conversations and then, follow up with those.
Okay. I'm going to disagree with you here. On this. I'm going to completely disagree with you on this one. No, because I can tell you right now at a funeral, by God, I'm going to talk business. And the reason I'm going to talk business is because it changes the fucking subject. Same thing at a wedding. Most people don't give a flying fuck that they're sitting at that damn wedding watching all this stuff, right? They're there for the fucking free food and the free drinks. Talk business, talk shop. It is a great icebreaker when you can ask somebody, hey, what do you do for a living? And you can talk about things. Because for me, I'm always going to ask somebody what they do for a living. And then odds are it's some crazy shit. Like when you're at a wedding, it's not your typical fucking networking, right? So you're going to find out that somebody's a damn lab rat scientist. And then I'm going to go, how the fuck did you get into that? And it gives me a chance to get around my inability to small talk and talk to people. But always.
So I was at an event and asked someone what they did, and I was told that is a rude question to ask people.
Well, that's because you got talking to a dumb bitch that doesn't fucking know better.
It was a guy.
Well, it's still a dumb bitch that doesn't know better.
That's a rude question. I'm like, fuck off. That's not one of the 3 things I was told.
The people who get annoyed by that question are the fucking super networkers that all they fucking do is god dang network, right? That's why they get annoyed by the fucking question, because they're too hoity-toity to fucking tell somebody what they do, and they probably don't know how to tell somebody what they do in the first place. It's a natural flow of a question, and outside of your traditional networking circles, they don't get asked that a lot because they hang with their certain circle of freaking friends. So at a wedding, at a funeral, I don't give a shit. Fucking, it's a good icebreaker of a question.
Yeah, and I need to caveat what I said, because I will have business conversations, but I'm not. That is not my focus. I am not heavy, hard networking at those events. If it's someone new, it's like, oh, what do you do? Oh, cool. Where's that at? Awesome.
Right.
And
Now
I'll have
remember though,
conversations.
networking is making introductions, opening doors if you can. It's not
Yep,
selling.
I
So
know.
it's not going into the situation saying, "Hey, buy this shit." But networking is, it's literally figuring out how you can help somebody else out. So it's a good way to dive into it. I'm not gonna network at a funeral. Get out of here. I'm gonna get so much hate mail for that one.
I I never said not to. I just said honor the event.
I did. I showed up. Oh, there I'm looking forward to those messages. So, and then number 10, and this is what one of my top ones is: get to the bar.
It is the easiest place to meet people.
Yep.
But I used to do a workshop on the 10 type of people you would meet at a networking event. And one of them was the person that just hangs out at the bar looking for free drinks. So,
Wait,
I definitely.
you got free drinks just by hanging out at the bar? How the fuck did I miss that memo?
Uh, you're the one who networks and is not afraid to ask questions. I don't know.
Yeah, I never got. I mean, I get, now that I say that out loud, people would, if it was drink ticket type thing,
Yep.
people would. Well, I already knew that I drank too, so people would always bring me their freaking drink tickets if they weren't drinking.
So, but yeah, I wouldn't hang at the bar, but I would go to the bar. Because it's almost expected when you're sitting at the bar waiting for the bartender or your drink to come to have a conversation.
Yep.
So no one gets, it's a super unintrusive way to do it because everyone's expecting it. And no one is going to be mad that you strike up.
Here's a trick for introverts in particular on this one. Is I like the bar because you can position yourself where people have to come to you. It's kind of like you're, being the welcomer at a freaking event, for the greeter. I couldn't find the word.
Yep.
When you're in like the greeter type person and you're at the bar, you're already positioning yourself where people have to talk to you. So if you're not good at making that first move, you're in a great position for people to say hi, hello, and do that ice break maneuver for you. I know some people that are some heavy hitters running big companies, introverted as hell, that they will always find some way to position themselves so people have to come to them. And that's why I like the bar. And two, once people get a few drinks into them, they'll usually loosen up and have some better conversations versus the cheese dick sales pitchy stuff you get all the time.
Yep.
So, well, this was fun for me, is taking you through the list of the 10 different things. So my list of 10 was: come with a target, make the first move, don't be an Eeyore, focus on introductions, keep moving, get to the one-on-one meeting, find a wingman, get to places you can geek out, always be networking, and get to the bar. Now, that was a lot of fun. I had fun going through that one and picking a few fights with you. So, guys, if you got any value out of this, do a favor, make sure you are subscribed to the show. Leave us a 5-star rating wherever you're listening to podcast, and share this out with one person that you might think could get some value out of this. And as always, love you, mean it. See you, bye.